bringing Israel to the world. This is IBN News.
With News of Israel, I'm Susan Michaels. In a statement released on social media, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said this week that he spoke with Bahraini Crown Prince Salman bin Hamad about the fact that we can bring the fruits of peace to our peoples and to our countries in a very short time. Addressing Israeli citizens, the Prime Minister said the Crown Prince invited me to come in the near future for an official visit to Bahrain, and I will do this on your behalf. Bahrain's foreign minister visited Israel last week as a sign of warming ties between the two countries after establishing formal ties in October. Israel has recently established normalized ties with Bahrain, the United Arab Emirates, and Sudan, the first Arab states to do so in decades. U.S. Democratic Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib this week targeted U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo for his firm stance on boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement, something she calls peaceful. Tlaib also criticized Pompeo for his decision to withdraw funding from groups that boycott Israel, saying Secretary Pompeo has moved to suppress BDS, a peaceful protest movement protected by the First Amendment. Israel's coronavirus cabinet this week voted unanimously to reopen all schools in certain communities within the next 2 weeks. After an 8-hour debate, ministers decided that students in grades 7 through 12 who have not gone back to in-class studies will be allowed to return to schools in communities that have a relatively low coronavirus infection rate. According to Education Minister Yoav Gallant's outline, high schools will reopen as soon as Sunday, with middle schools resuming in-class studies a week later on December 6th. Both students and teachers will be routinely tested for COVID-19 to avoid another outbreak. And a pilot test has been approved in Israel, which would see 15 malls and shopping centers across the country reopen for 1 week, at which time officials will evaluate findings and decide if it's safe to fully open shopping centers. I'm Susan Michaels.
IBN, Israel Broadcast Network.